All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is the preview of West Ham versus Arsenal, where on Monday night we travel to, it's not Upton Park anymore, it's the London Stadium. And sorry, just frantically checking something online that I forgot to check earlier. So yeah, as we approach this game, to paraphrase a video series, I guess, from my boy Lee. Is anyone actually confident going into this game? Because I damn sure I'm not. The way we've been playing, we can lose quite comfortably to a League One team, and people will think I'm exaggerating when I say that, but I'm not. Freddie takes his current side to his former club, which won't make sense. But people forget Freddie played for West Ham. Yes, he did. For a season, he made 25 appearances and 2 goals for West Ham between 2007 and 2008. So this is a former West Ham player bringing his Arsenal side to the London Stadium. What am I thinking going into this game? I think we could quite comfortably lose this game. We lost this game last year. We lost it deservedly so as well. And to be honest with you, I'm not particularly confident going into this game. West Ham themselves, they're going through quite a miserable time themselves. They've not had a lot of breaks, or they're just, West Ham are just doing what West Ham do. To be honest, they're one of those sides. They've always been one of those sides where 1 minute they do amazingly well, and then the next minute they're flirting with relegation. And this happens to be the season that, alongside us, they're flirting with relegation. Gosh, I laugh, but I can't believe we're in this situation. West Ham are 16th, currently with 16 points, I believe. And they've won 1 in their last 5, which unbelievably is a better record than us, who have drawn 3 in their last 5. Yeah. Gosh, this is so painful. So they're 16 goals from 15 games. They are 3 points. No, I did not stutter. 3 points behind us. Newcastle right now are above Arsenal. We are in the bottom half of the league right now. Arsenal. It's depressing reading. Looking at the table alone is depressing reading. But then when you go to West Ham's matches, you think to yourself, all right, well, surely we can beat these lot. Just go back to some of the matches that they've had this season. They got blazed by City in the opening day of the season, 5-0 at the London Stadium. And that immediately started to put Pellegrini under pressure. West Ham then managed to get themselves a 1-1 draw against Brighton. They then won against Watford, but Watford are like the league whipping boys at the moment. The only team that can't seem to beat them is Arsenal. Then West Ham then beat Newport County in the League Cup. Then they started going on a little run. They beat Norwich City at home. They avoided a loss at Villa, which you might say, well, yeah, but that's Villa. But they did have 10 men for a lot of that game. I do remember that game. Then they got probably their best result of the season, and that was the 2-0 victory at home to Manchester United, which you're talking about a Manchester United team that yesterday just beat Man City. But as we all know, Man United seem to get up for the big games, but they seem to go missing for the smaller games. And then concurrently, they probably suffered their worst defeat this season, considering the opponent and considering the arse whooping that they got. And that was a 4-0 loss to Oxford United. They managed to scrap a draw against Bournemouth. That was a Desmond. They lost narrowly to Palace at home. And that was last month. We're in December now. That was on the 5th of October. Then they started going on a little run of non-wins. So they lost to Everton, drew to Sheffield United, lost to Newcastle at home, Newcastle at home. Then they got whooped by Burnley 3-0. They lost to them lot down the road. They picked up, weirdly, a victory against Chelsea the end of last month. I do remember that as well. That was a weird game. They lost to Wolves, no disgrace there. And that has brought them full circle to us. Probably that Chelsea result is the one thing that's kept Pellegrini in a job so far. And we are the Santa Claus Arsenal that is about to gift wrap him a win. Because if you need a win, Arsenal will help you out. That's just what we do. Going into this game, there are a lot of rumors surrounding this game, as I'm sure you guys already know. I was planning to bring back Eagle Eye, which is my transfer rumor show, for anyone who doesn't know, at the start of this month. And then I just decided not to. I figured I'd stick with Late Night Chig for any big developing stories. But for now, I'm just I'll bring that back at the beginning of the transfer window. But in terms of Arsenal themselves and the rumors surrounding managers, supposedly there is this gut feeling that there's going to be almost to quote the newspaper, an apprentice-style interview for managers. And a lot of the candidates have been invited to the game tomorrow. So there's a big rumor that, for example, Pochettino is in London next week. Big rumor. No one's sure why. So obviously that's allowed papers to come to kind of 2+2 it and come up with Arsenal. And that is the fact that they believe that Pochettino will be in London to watch West Ham versus Arsenal. The big story that developed today was that the former Bayern Munich manager, Kovacic, is also in line to watch the game. It must be said that Kovacic also watched the Everton game. Obviously, Everton are also managerless. They're ambitious, so they would want a manager like Kovacic, who, by all intents and purposes, isn't necessarily the most exciting name out there. But obviously, if you're Everton, you'd want a manager that's managed a massive team like Bayern Munich. And quite frankly, who are we to turn up our nose to anyone? At least anyone of that type of stature anyway. And then who was the other rumored person? Oh my gosh, my brain's gone. I completely forgot. There was one more candidate. I'm not meant to say the other one. I just remembered that. I'm not meant to say the other person, but there's a third candidate who's definitely supposed to be invited to the game in the director's box. I've been told that by now 2 people. Both of those 2 people have promised me to keep my mouth shut on that one. But let's just say, if there's someone in the director's box, know your boy already knew about that. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, this might be part of the formal process. You've seen the team in action. You can see the problems they have. If you're in an interview, you'd probably say, all right, so what could you bring to fix that? For me, this over-elaborate style of in trying to appoint a manager, only Arsenal can do some shit like this. You mark my words, right? It's only because West Ham will probably beat us tomorrow. But I've said it before and I say it again. Any money, West Ham sack their manager, reappoint a new manager before we get our asses in gear. That is just what we do. Only Arsenal would dither over this. But it is what it is. We are where we are. And we have to focus on this game as much as possible. I am praying that someone has just touched Freddie's head and just said, brother, you need to switch this up. There's a lot of rumors that came out today, again, about the fact that the players don't seem to back Freddie. And quite honestly, they play like they don't back him. From my own point of view, I accept I was initially wrong about Freddie. I accept that. I broke my own rule actually in the sense that we should never ever have appointed someone who was part of the initial setup. You know, the players tapped out on Emery. What? Why were we arrogant enough to think as a fan base that they wouldn't have tapped out on Freddie as well? And supposedly there's stories in the background saying that the players aren't backing Freddie publicly or privately. And if that's the case, they're a disgrace as well. They're a disgrace as well. And then considering the problems we've had, they've gotten off lightly, those players. And I think some of them need to be shipped out. And that's why I was a big advocate of yesterday. And I know it upset a lot of people. But obviously yesterday, the big story was the fact that Aubameyang had pulled out of contract talks with the club. And that Real Madrid are preparing to offer money plus what is that kid's name? Their promising kid, Luke. Can't remember. I think it begins with L. I can't remember what his name is. Promising young guy though, 21 years old. Supposed to be a banger. Scored like 22 goals for them in the German league last year. I know people in the chat room are screaming their head off. I'm not looking at the chat room just yet, guys. So bear with me. Bear with me. But yeah, for me, I think if that offer is on the table, you take it. You take it because I think we need to start shipping some of these guys out. We needed to start shipping some of the deadwood we had left over, but we definitely need to ship out some people who are not good enough and are clearly not going to make it. And I hope that is our focus from now until the end of the season, is shipping some of this deadwood out. But we'll see what happens. It's particularly because Arsenal have recently announced a loss as well. They announced a £25 million loss for the period, whereas this time last year we were almost 100 million up in pre-tax profit. So I can't see Arsenal spending in a hurry, and I think the only way we're going to be able to do that is by shipping some of the players that we do have out, and that might be including Aubameyang. We have always said yes as a goal scorer, absolutely. But if he wants to go, why are we begging it? We've been in this situation so many times before. Why don't we just let him go and really start to think about, okay, well, he's going. I don't want to be in a Ramsey situation. So what's the best situation we could get out of this? We can get money and a promising young player. Let's do it. And for me, that would be the deal. But anyway, I digress. This is supposed to be the West Ham preview. And I'm going on and on about transfers. In my mind, I think let's focus towards the game. We're going towards West Ham. The one thing I would say, looking through West Ham's record, their defense is just as terrible as ours. That's the only thing I'll say. You know, these guys are not in the habit necessarily of getting. All right, I know they got one against Fulham. Okay, that was pre-season. Sorry, I'm looking at that one. I know they got one recently against Chelsea, but generally West Ham are not a clean sheet specialist. They're just not. They leak goals. They straight up leak goals. I think where that is the case, we have an opportunity to expose it. And I think, but that all depends on the team. And I think that Freddie has almost been snookering himself before a ball's even kicked by the teams he plays. If you can get the starting lineup right, there's no reason in theory we shouldn't win this game, purely on the basis that West Ham are terrible, which means the stage is set for an Arsenal collapse. Having said that, I've gone with a refresh of the team. This is what I personally would look to do. So I'm going to show you guys what sort of team I would go with personally tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can share this with you guys, so bear with me. Just click off that for a second. Yeah, I'm going to share this with you guys. Hold up 2 secs. Wait a minute. Chrome tab. That one. All right. This is my team to face West Ham. I'm going to explain something nice and quickly. I really had to debate this one. I really had to debate this one. Because I think last couple of games, I don't think he's done particularly well. The only thing I will say is I do think he's been playing out of position. For some reason, he's been playing wide out left and then wide out right. Because for whatever reason, Freddie don't like wingers. But I play him in his actual position, which is number 10. And I said just let him influence the game and does what he does. You guys know I'm not Mesut Ozil's biggest fan. In fact, if it's up to me, come January 1st, I'm ringing around and finding out who wants to buy him. Having said that, while he is earning money, and I've always been a big advocate, he's earning $350. It makes me feel uncomfortable every day, the idea of not involving him and making him work for that money. You're getting $350 a month, you better work for that damn thing. So I think from my point of view, I say play Mesut Ozil, play him in his actual position, which is as a number 10. Now, I wanted to get that out of the way because I know some people will be surprised that I started Mesut Ozil. Believe me, I debated it and I debated it and I debated it. I did consider Lacazette there. I figured Lacazette doesn't really deserve a place in the team. And quite honestly, I considered Willock there. And I thought Willock, after his last few performances, doesn't deserve a place in my starting lineup. And that is why I've gone with Mesut Ozil. I think my defense should speak for itself, but I'll explain it anyway. I thought Leonard has done very well. Last couple of games, really. So he keeps his place. No problem there. Hector Bellerin, you guys know I don't think Hector is the strongest right back. Even at his best, I still don't think he's the strongest right back. But at least he's right back. And we've waited for him to return for so long. He keeps his place in the team. Chambers has let me down recently, the last couple of games. But the only asterisk, the only caveat I'll put on it is that he has always been played out of position. But bruh, I must admit, one thing I did not realize is you're not the greatest passer of the ball. And that is a concern. And I'd like to see that improve. Me and Lee disagree on Chambers heavily. For many, many different reasons, but one of the most interesting reasons is that he thinks he's better as a right back. I don't know where he gets that from, because every time Chambers plays well, it's as a centre back. And I'm not talking about as a 3, as a 4. He plays his best football as a centre back. So I play him as a centre back. I don't know what's happened to Holding because I haven't even seen him as a sub recently. I am assuming he's fit and not getting into squads for whatever reason. He gets into my starting lineup. Straight up. These two have a great off-the-field relationship. I actually believe they live together, which is interesting. So if that's the case, why not play them? Can it be any worse than Socrates and Louise, for fuck's sake? Can't be any worse. So I say play them together. Let's see what happens. And I also noticed from training pictures that he seems to be quite close to these two. So play them. We need a defensive unit that's going to have some sort of good understanding. If they have a good relationship, keep in mind, these two are friends, these two are friends, and all three of these guys are friends. It can't be any worse. Try it. Try it. Genuinely, how much worse could it be? So I say play them. I think that could potentially be a not terrible defense. I'm not going to call it a flawless defense. I just don't think it will be a terrible unit. But it would require some brave management. And Freddie, at this point, what does he have to lose by taking a chance? I think you play Torreira in his correct position I say in this particular instance as a DM. I don't think he's a natural DM. I've said that to you guys before. I think he would prefer to be the number 8 in this situation. driving from deep. But he doesn't have that role in the team because that is Guendouzi's role. So I think from his point of view, just have a disciplined performance, marshal that defense. Guendouzi, I think, just simply put, I think he does the job better than Granit Xhaka. That said, I think Granit Xhaka has had a good couple of games. There's no doubt about it. But for me, I would have sacked him already. So I can't say that and then start starting him in games. So simply put, I play Guendouzi. I've already explained about Mesut Ozil. You play him in his actual position. This kid, I don't know how he's not already starting games. He should have been starting games. Again, he can't be any worse than Lacazette. Quite honestly, Lacazette, bar one game, has been out of 15 games. Lacazette, let's be real, probably turned up in about 4 of them. So I say, let's play the kid, because every time he does something, especially when he starts games, he's always doing something. Can he be any worse than Lacazette? I don't think so. Plus, he has the ability to at least play wide left. He's got pace. He's got movement. And I think that unpredictable movement he does have will cause havoc in a terrible West Ham defense. Once again, can he be any worse? And then I play Pepe because Pepe shouldn't have been dropped in the freaking first place. Oh, well, he doesn't train that well. Oh, yeah, because the others train brilliantly. They train so well, they've been turning in the performances they've been turning in. Pepe, in his one cameo last weekend, was head and shoulders above any outfield player in the last game, I should say, not last weekend, on Thursday's game. He had a 25-minute cameo, and it was better than anything that was on the pitch. Play him. Because he's the one person that at least gives width. Yes, I know he likes to come inside, but he usually starts from in here before he then starts to come inside. We need width. We're suffering. We're being suffocated out there. Play him, because he can be no worse than what we already have out there. And you have Captain Uber up top, the man that wants to bounce. But the one thing I'll give him, he's still scoring goals. He ain't stopped scoring goals. So again, play him. Because once again, he can be no worse than what we have out there. In my view, I think if we go for this, and I hope we do go for this, I expect it's going to be 2-2. But at least it's better than a loss. It's better than a loss. I just don't see us beating West Ham. I don't know where our next win is coming from, because after this is Man City, and Man City have been itching for a win. They've been itching for a win, which means they're going to run us over. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. I see you guys. I'm going to stay with you guys for 5 minutes. Let's take you to 10. Please do stick a like on this video. That's all I ask. I'm going to catch up with all the donations now. Rabbit, I see you. So, guys, please do stick a like on this video, and we can go from there. Chig, how was my Christmas work night out? Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yesterday was better. My mate's birthday stroke, the AJ fight was a lot better. Here we go. Sonny's in the house. Big up to you, Sonny. You're going Arsenal 2-1. Oh, that is some rare confidence from Sonny there. Big up to you, Aussie Gooner. It's been a while. I hope you're well. We are due a win. You're right. We are due a win. Chig, you see the brutal KO of Overeem? Yes, I did. His lip was upped. All Freddie does is sit there, pouts, bloody useless bottle chop. Yeah, he's a pouter. I agree with you. He is a pouter. Yeah. He's not exactly active on the touchline, is he? Will Pepe start tomorrow? I think he will. Yeah, I don't think he'll go with my team, but I think he'll start tomorrow. Yes, I do. Big up to Rabba. Just send Raul to Madrid to fetch Simeone. Either Simeone or Rafa, one of the two, man. Just get one of the two. Get one of the two. I'm not even being picky at the moment. Yes, Simeone is my number one choice. Everybody knows this. Rafa's my number two choice. Everybody knows this. But yeah, I think for me, I just we need someone to sort this defense out. Sort this defense out. Luka Djokovic, thank you. I thought to myself, does it become out? And then in my brain, I was like, no. But yeah, that's the Real Madrid strike I was talking about earlier, guys. Can you imagine if Europa League knockouts? If Europa League knockouts were now, yeah, we'd be fucked. You say that though, bro. If we lose, the likelihood is we go out of the Europa League. If we lose on Thursday, we're out. Would 100% do a swap with Djokovic. Luka's gone anyway. He's the wrong side of 30. So that's another reason I'd do it. 30 million loss. I heard it was 23.5 or something like that. Don't think it was quite 30. Don't want. I'll do a swap tomorrow. Send troops to Madrid. Bring a Spanish fan. Oh, sunny. Cause havoc in the chat. Chig, can I please do a video on Arsenal this decade? Working on it. Keep in mind, I've still got a few days until the end of the year, but I am working on it. It's not something I've forgotten. Got a couple of Arsenal decade videos coming out. Working on 3, thinking about 4, but I'm working on 3 at the moment. So yes, I am going to do a little storyboard type thing. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give away too much about what I'm going to do, but your boy's editing skills has come a long way. Let's put it that way. So yes, keep an eye out on that one. Big up to Sammy for the stream today. Big up to Sonny. Please do subscribe to him if you haven't already. He'll give you a very different take to Arsenal. And one thing I'll promise you, it will not be boring. What did I think of the AJ fight? So for me, I found it intriguing, but I'm a boxing guy. Thank you so much, Arsenal 10234. Yes, that's another thing. Thank you for reminding me. Guys, big up to all yourselves. You guys have helped me cross that line past 7K today. Great achievement. In the sense that, you know, I've never had an interview on Arsenal Fan TV. I've never been on a Cheeky Sports or a True Geordie or any of that type of stuff. You know, I have a cheap lamp, my Blue Yeti mic, and a PC that is temperamental at best when it comes to these shows. Somehow I managed to crawl my way to 7K. I'm not an idiot. I also recognize that a big part of that and a big help for that is Lee Gunner. So, you know, I've said it to him privately. I said it to him on Twitter. I've said it to him on Insta. I'll say it to him again on there. My brother, thank you. I appreciate it. Someone who I think, you know, doesn't get enough love for the good he does do. You know, for all of his mouth, my man is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He really is. You know, if you come to him correct, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And I know he's got a mouth in him, but past that, cool dude. And he's helped me immensely. Not just by appearing on his channel or him appearing on my channel, but actually behind the scenes advice as well. Stuff that I would never have even thought of before. And I know that we bounce off each other well. You know, I've given him some advice and that, and we kind of bounce off each other well. But yeah, obviously, much love to him. And also much love to my man Ola, another one who, you know, especially for the MMA stuff, but even the Arsenal stuff, has come on here and he gives his time. My man always will be as flexible as he possibly can in order to appear with me. And another one that I just bounce ideas off, particularly when we're talking about our MMA boxing shows, structuring the show and, you know, talking about how we're going to do the show. That's another one that's helped me immensely. So massive shout out to both of those guys. Those are my brothers from another mother. So I appreciate that. And yeah, road to the 10K. I've achieved my 7K goal. I wanted to do that before the end of the year. Wanted to do that before Christmas. I managed to do both. So now I want to see if I can get 10K before the end of the season. Big chance of that, but a big, a lot of hard work ahead in order for me to get there. So the best way to do that is by helping me do that is by first and foremost, if you're already subscribed, please do hit that like button. Please hit that like button. It helps the show get noticed and it helps new people who haven't subscribed to subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. This channel, eventually, I'm going to get out of all the setup. You know, eventually, I've got big plans I'm going in. But the best way of doing that and the best way of helping me achieve those plans is for this channel to keep growing. So yeah, I'm on the road to doing that. So let's see where we get with it. One thing I perhaps have not been particularly good at doing over the last 3 years of this channel is reinvesting whatever cash I do get back into the channel. Yes, I've used it to buy Blue Yetis. I've used it to buy tablets. I've used it to do little bits and bobs. But now what I'm starting to do is I'm reinvesting it into editing programs, into studio lighting, into lapel mics, so that this big clunky mic isn't just here, it's actually on my shirt. You know, little things like that. One thing I've been looking into for the last 3 months is studio time. So I want to get a big studio where I can put a table, desk, chairs. I can invite people to the studio in, and we're sitting down and we're having interviews, and there's a much more personable sort of approach in that. Maybe have people that have a couple of cameras and changing the camera angles and stuff. I've got big plans for this thing. But the best way you guys can do to help me achieve those plans is by hitting that subscribe button. So please do. Big plans. So yes, thank you for everyone helping me achieve 7K. On to 10K now. Would I have Kovacic as manager? Honestly, I wouldn't. But that's just me. Would you have him as manager? What did I think of the AJ fight? I get people weren't entertained. It wasn't a spectacle of a fight, but I'm a hardcore boxing guy. I found it interesting. I like the tactics. For me, that was exactly what he needed to do to beat Ruiz. I said he needed to beat him the way he beat Joseph Parker. That was another fight that people criticized AJ's performance for. But he did exactly what he needed to do in that fight, as he did with Ruiz, and he outclassed Ruiz in the end. And I think most people look at that and think, well, because of that, then Deontay Wilder, he's got no chance with. And yeah, I know Deontay Wilder has a death stroke of a right hand. But then what happens when he doesn't land that right hand? And then people say, oh yeah, but Fury would outclass him. And you know, I've said it before and I say it again, Fury in the UK is the best. For me, forget the UK, is the most highly skilled heavyweight there is. No doubt about it. But he has no power. He has no power and he's a big target. And I think people have seen Fury duck underneath a couple of shots and think, oh, well, he's he's Floyd Mayweather out here. No, he's still 7 foot. He's still 6'9". Do you think that AJ ain't gonna hit him at least once or twice? You know, I think people have written AJ off way too quickly in those 2 fights. So yeah, but yeah, to answer your question, I found those fights very entertaining. I found the fight very entertaining. What's my top 4 prediction now? Liverpool. There's some serious overtime here, guys. Liverpool, City. Yeah, you heard me. City, Leicester, Chelsea. That's my top 4 prediction. Ruiz got slapped. Yeah, he did. And a lot of people in the chat room predicted that either at the time. Not a lot of people did. Chig, work with a football terrace. They also have a studio. I like not relying on people. I must admit. So that's. I don't have anything against Arsenal Fan TV. I think people think I do because I've never been on there. Apart from the fact that I've never had an invite, I've never seeked an invite. I've never seeked their help either. So that's the main reason. And I like the idea of, you know, people recognizing that, and I do get a lot of recognition for the fact that I've not leaned on that on that. And by the way, that's no criticism to anyone that has. You got to do what you got to do for your channel. But I like the idea. I've always been like that. I've always been a little bit of an outlaw like that. If I can do this without anyone's help, I will seek that. Obviously, people like Lee, people would say, "Oh, but you say that, but you relied on Lee's help." Yeah, that's different. Lee was my boy prior to his channel blowing up. So I think people forget that. Prior to any of his channels blowing up, by the way. Troops is going to New York on Wednesday. Okay. How tall am I? I am 6'2". 6'2". I know sometimes I slump in a chair and I think people think I'm a small stodgy geezer. No, I'm 6'2", bro. Would I go on Sonny's podcast? Me and Sonny are talking, bro. Me and Sonny are talking. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Don't be surprised if you see my big head appear on there, though. Chig, will the next decade be better or worse than this one has been for us? It's got to be better. It's got to be better. Chig, we're going down big time. Do you think we'll get relegated? My gosh. Gosh, I can see people arguing in the chat room because why not? No green screen chain. Green screen, I'm not convinced green screen is enough of an investment for me yet. I know that Mark Goldbridge does very well with his. I know that was an ambition that Lee had for some time. But for me, it's not a route I particularly want to go down. So just to give you guys an indication of the direction I want to go in, I almost want something of a cross between a Joe Rogan / True Geordie, but not quite in a True Geordie kind of style. Because the one thing I've seen, because the one thing about True Geordie style is, for me, is a very cliquey sort of environment, and I don't necessarily want it to be a cliquey environment. I want it to be a very kind of, okay, this is Chig's podcast. I can see what he's doing. I can see where he's going. He has guests that he wants to have on there. I don't want it to be a cliquey sort of environment, you know. But that's the thing, though. You say that, Ljungberg camp. Yes, Ruiz came in 20 stone. Ruiz has always been slow-footed. Don't be dazzled by the fact that his hands are quick. Yes, he has quick hands, but he has slow feet. So when you have a combination of that, a long jab is all you need to do all night. That's all you need to do. Jab, move, jab, move, jab, move. And I thought AJ largely did well with that. I thought there were times where he tried to hold before jabbing, and then he got caught with some dumb shot. But largely, I thought he boxed very well. All right, 3 more minutes and I'm out of here, guys, because I've done some overtime for you guys. So 3 more minutes and I'm out of here. Which Premier League player do you respect the most? Mark Nobles for me. For me, it's Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling has had to deal with a lot, not just from fans, but from the media. And I think he's done it very well and has never let his standards slip as a result. So, yeah, for me, current Premier League player is Raheem Sterling for me. A lot of respect for that guy. Big up to you, Nimsy. I see you. I don't think Kroenke will sell the club to another buyer. No, he looks like one of them stubborn Vince McMahon types. As long as Kroenke owns Arsenal FC, I can't see a bright future for the club. AJ's game plan was on point. Yes, it was. I agree. Chig, would you be down for doing a video with DG or not? Listen, for me, I have no issue at all doing a video with DG. For whatever reason, I have no idea. Whenever we tried to do it in the past, for one reason or another, we haven't just been able to get it together. And for dumb reasons as well. I think one day it will happen. I don't see why it wouldn't. But I think, for now we're just doing our things. If an opportunity presents itself for us to do a collab, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, I think people seem to think I'm reluctant to do a collab with DG. Not at all. For all intents and purposes, I've spoken to a good 6 or 7 people that tell me he's a lovely guy. Lovely guy. Don Chig has better ambition for this channel than Arsenal staff combined. I think it's always good when you work somewhere, when you're doing something, or when you have a project that you know your end goal. And I know my end goal is to, I've always wanted a radio. Always wanted to be on the radio. I have a face for it, So I'm joking. So I think for me, in fact, people, you ain't commented on the new fade, bro. Why one? I ain't heard no comments on the new fade. I'm just saying. But yeah, so I've always wanted to be on the radio and kind of do stuff on there. So my actual ambition actually doesn't just end at having a podcast. I would love to have a network of podcasts. I'd love to own a network where people can put podcasts on. That's if you want me to be real, that's the end goal. That's what I actually want. So I'm going to keep going until I get there. That's for damn sure. If you want me to be honest, that's what I'm definitely looking to do. Have to lose 5-0 to go out. Would it be unusual if we don't? Would anyone be surprised? The trim is banging. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it, member. Much love. All right, my guy. I've done overtime over overtime over overtime. When do you ever see me drunk on any stream, Martin? On any stream? Come on now. Stop letting your ideas out. I know I should shut up. I should shut up. But I'll get there. Listen, I'm not reinventing the wheel in what I'm saying. But I know how I'm going to get there. I know what I'm going to do to get there. So yeah, watch me work. Watch me work. I'm not going to be one of these people that, you know, have a YouTube channel for a few years and then give up when it's out of fashion. For me, I think the YouTube thing gets you so far. I've no interest necessarily in being a Z-list celebrity or anything. It's not my plans. And usually I get embarrassed when people recognize me and start. It's just not in my nature. But what I do want is to take it off this platform, put it onto my own platform, and then run with it from there. That's my grand plan, and I won't stop until I get there. Is Marcialo actually going to be the next manager? Because F that. Well, we want 5 minutes more. Nah, I'm out of here, guys. But please do stick a like on this video. Absolutely crush, destroy, drop kick that like button. I appreciate it when you guys do that. Sergio Hernandez, I agree with you, my bro. I agree with you 100%. Please do stick a like on this video. And yeah, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we won't have a situation like we had on Thursday with Mr. Gunner. And we'll be able to do a preview and player ratings on my channel as usual. Obviously, don't miss out on our live streaming of our watch along, which will go ahead tomorrow as per usual. And yeah, we out of here, people. Subscribe to both of our channels and bounce. Enjoy your Sunday, guys. Peace.